There's a number of major steps going from Euro 3 to Euro 4 that are not only focused on drivability, smoothing out the power, reducing noise, or making more power. There's also a number of components that are focused on increasing reliability. One of those is the starter clutch assembly. The starter clutch assembly that is now mounted on all Euro 4 vehicles has a number of modifications inside. From very small modifications, including the bearing and the class of bearing that is mounted inside the starter clutch assembly, reducing it from 5 microns to 1 micron of play between the bearing and the shaft. There's also a thrust washer that has a different treatment and a different surface finish to reduce any rubbing wear that could be generated over time, and I'm talking about 70, 80, 100,000 start cycles of an engine. So that component has also been changed and updated. Inside of the starter clutch assembly, we have the inner hub. The inner hub has a revised surface roughness and finishing, which is the part that comes in direct contact with the starter freewheel on the inside. There's also a new roller bearing on the inside of the starter assembly. This roller bearing has also been changed with an updated tolerance class. You'll notice inside of the starter assembly there's also a new starter clutch. The freewheel clutch is completely different than any of the freewheel clutches used previously. This freewheel clutch is basically fixed mechanically. You can no longer rotate it inside of the hub assembly. And what this does is, as the starter clutch assembly is spinning inside of the engine, it's constantly spinning with engine RPM. And what you have is the starter clutch assembly that has about 50 meters per second of sliding velocity between the starter clutch and the hub. And what we're doing is reducing the possibility that it can start sliding by itself, or the relative sliding between the starter clutch and the hub, so that when there is an inversion of torque, you don't have the added inertia of that component that basically gets a hit going backwards and can induce then damage to the sliding surface inside of the gear itself. So there is a number of changes inside of the starter clutch. This starter clutch assembly has also been designed in a way that it can be completely retrofitted into any of the previous Euro 3 three-cylinder bikes.